So most of the students have joined. So again we are going to continue, and after this we will begin our seminar. Today we are having two seminars. So let me complete this HSAB concept and the classification. Just now we have seen that Pearson has put forward the concept of HSAB, that is hard and soft acids and bases, that indicates that hard acid prefer to bind with hard base and soft acid prefer to bind with soft base. So this particular concept was put forward by Pearson, and hence the concept is known as the Pearson's HSAB concept. So, according to this Pearson, the acid and base, they are classified into four different classes, and this classification of acids and bases, that depends upon the concept of polarizability. What is this polarizability? That I would like to explain first of all. Then and then it is very easy to understand the classification. So, how the concept of polarizability, that we have to study. For example, as we know, cation is always smaller in size, anion is always big in size. So, cation and anion, when are placed at an equilibrium distance, as a cation is small in size, anion is big in size, cation, when these are placed at a particular internuclear distance, then this cation, as it is a smaller in size, it can attract the electron cloud of anion towards itself. So, because cation is small in size, it will attract the electron cloud of anion towards itself. Because anion is large in size, the outermost electrons of anions are very loosely bound. Because the electrons are very loosely bound, they can attract it towards the cation. So, cation is known as a polarizing cation, and anion is known as a polarizable anion. So when such case happen, then this cation, that will definitely attract the electron cloud. So there is a deformation of electron cloud takes place. Say for example like this, whatever electron density is there, that electron density is attracted towards the cation. So cation being small in size, it can easily attract the electron cloud of the anion. So here it is known as a polarizing cation, and anion is a easily polarizable anion. So based on this concept, Pearson has classified the acids and bases into four categories. The first category is known as the hard acids, or the first class is known as a hard acids. What is this hard acid? The first point, according to this Pearson's concept, that all the hard acids are basically Lewis acids. The second point is that the characteristic feature, that these are in small size, because they have very small size, and hence the electron cloud is not polarizable. The electron cloud of which is not polarizable. So the cations having high oxidation state, the cations having high oxidation state, for example, the H plus ions, the Na plus ions, aluminum plus 3, magnesium plus 2, all these are referred as a hard acids. What is the characteristic feature of hard acids? These are basically Lewis acids. They have small size. Because they have small size, the electron cloud of which cannot be easily polarizable, and the cations having high oxidation states, they are grouped under hard acids. Now the second class, that is known as a soft acids. The definition of soft acids is exactly reverse to that of the hard acid. Here, the first point under soft acid, that the soft acids are basically again Lewis acid, because this is put forward by Lewis. Again, the hard acids are small in size, but soft acids are large in size. So, because they are large in size, the electron cloud is easily polarizable. That means the electron cloud can be easily polarized by the surrounding cation. And fourth point is that the cations having low oxidation state are grouped under the soft acid. For example, the low oxidation state, for example, cuprous ion, silver ion, or gold ion, Cu plus, Ag plus, and Au plus, all these are known as a soft acids. So characteristic feature of soft acid is that they are basically Lewis acids. They are having very large size. Because they have large size, the electron cloud of which is easily polarized or polarizable, and the cations having low oxidation state are grouped under soft acids. The third category is known as the hard bases. What are these hard bases? Hard bases are nothing but these are basically again Lewis bases. These are Lewis bases, and these Lewis bases, they prefer to coordinate with hard acids. So hard bases, they prefer to coordinate with hard acid. This is according to HSAB concept. So hard acid prefer to bind with hard bases prefer to bind with hard acids, and these are nothing but the anions or the neutral molecules. They are grouped under the hard bases for the electron cloud of which is not easily polarizable. That means because of they are having very small size, the electron cloud of which is not easily polarizable. The examples of the hard bases are nothing but the neutral molecules such as water molecule, ammonia molecule, or certain anions such as fluoride ion, the hydroxide ion, or nitrate ion. These are known as the hard bases. So this is how Pearson has classified the hard bases as these are nothing but the Lewis bases. They prefer to bind or coordinate with hard acids. Certain anions which are given here fluoride, hydroxyl, nitrate ion, or neutral molecules such as water molecule, ammonia molecule. These are the best known examples of hard bases. Now, the fourth class is known as the soft base or soft bases. The first point is that these are nothing but the Lewis bases. Basically, these are Lewis bases. Second point, as the base is soft, so they prefer to coordinate with soft acids. Then and then a stable product is formed. This is according to the Lewis concept. So soft bases prefer to coordinate with soft acids. So soft base, soft acid, these interactions are possible. The third point is that these are the anions. These are only the anions which are categorized under soft bases. For example, here the electron cloud is easily polarizable or polarized. The example of which is cyanide ion or iodide ion, which are grouped under soft bases. So you have to remember all these cations under hard acids, all these low oxidation state cations as soft bases, all these neutral molecules or the anions are hard bases, and cyanide ion or iodide ion are soft bases. So these are the four classes. Again, there are two subclasses are there which he named as borderline, or which are known as intermediate. Borderline or intermediate acids. For example, the ferrous ion, which is a borderline, which having property between hard acid and soft acid, the cobalt ion and the nickel ions. These are known as the borderline or intermediate acids, which are having their properties which are lying intermediate between hard acid and soft acid. Similarly, the second class is known as the borderline or intermediate bases. Which are those? The borderline or intermediate bases are nitrate ion and the sulfite ion. These are known as a borderline bases. What is a borderline base? They are having properties lying intermediate between hard base and soft base. So they show the properties of hard bases as well as the soft bases, which are known as a borderline or intermediate bases. So we have seen today the HSAB concept, that soft and hard interactions are there that lead to a stable product. And based on the concept of polarizability, we have classified the hard and soft acids into these four categories: hard acids, soft acid, hard base, soft bases, and the subclasses, that is borderline or intermediate acids, borderline or intermediate bases. So this is how today we have completed the concept of HSAB. So in the next week, we are going to continue with the stability of all these hard and soft acids and bases. So today we are having the seminar. So we'll continue with the seminar. So first of all, the seminar. Ankush Patil, I think he is here. He has to unmute himself. Ankush, I think his name is Ankush Baliram Patil, and second seminar will be delivered by Akshata Jadhav. Is Ankush Baliram Patil is there? Ankush Patil? Yes, you are here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Where is your PPT?
सेंड केले ना ते ईमेल सर.
सेंड केले?
केले.
एक काम करणार, तू तुझ्या बाजूने हे करणार, स्क्रीन शेअर करणार, मी तुला को होस्ट करतो. ओके, तू स्क्रीन शेअरिंग करता येईल तुला?
स्क्रीन शेअरिंग
हां करता येईल?
ते पीपीटी ओपन करू काय सर?
हां, पहिला पीपीटी ओपन कर. काय?
हां,
एक मिनिट हां, मी तुला को होस्ट करतो जरास. म्हणजे तुला तुझ्या बाजूने काय करशील, हां तुला मी तुला स्क्रीन शेअरिंग करता येईल. आता स्क्रीन शेअरिंग कर, म्हणजे तुझा पीपीटी दिसेल. Yes, it is okay. Okay, you can see your screen. Yes, screen sharing कर.
एक मिनिट सर.
हाँ हाँ, ओके.
हॅलो सर, काय ये ना घेऊ
ये ना बरं तू तुझं प्रेझेंटेशन बघून तू बोलू शकशील तुझं प्रेझेंटेशन समोर ठेवून.
हा चालते की.
हां एक सेकंद मी थोडंसं तुला स्क्रीन होस्ट जरासं कॅन्सल करतो. पण एक प्रॉब्लेम काय येईल. एक मिनिट हा. Okay, you can start. You can start.
सर चालू करू.
Yes. You can start.
Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to my seminar.
Okay.
First of all, introducing to myself, my name is Ankush Vikram Patil from BSc TY, Department in Chemistry. Today my seminar topic name is ceramic superconductor. Next, today discussed all about in ceramic superconductor. First one is superconductor. Second is critical temperature, Meissner effect, ceramic, type of superconductor, properties of superconductor, preparation of high superconductor, and chemical vapor deposition method, and application of superconductor. Superconductors. In 1913, the scientist Camerling Owens observed that the electrical resistance to mercury abruptly disappeared when it is cooled to very low temperature at about 4 Kelvin. This phenomenon is known as superconductivity. Uh, the, the material which exhibits this property is known as superconductors. An example of copper or steel, the critical temperature, the temperature at which material becomes superconductor is called as critical temperature. Here note that the superconductivity is quantum mechanical phenomenon and characterized by Meissner effect. The Meissner effect, the expulsion of magnetic field from the interior of the material that is in the process of becoming superconductors, that is the losing its resistance to the flow of electric current when the cooled below certain temperature is called as transition temperature. The usually close to the absolute temperature. Ceramic. Ceramic is an inorganic non-metallic solid made of either metal or non-metal compounds that have been shaped the hard by heating to the high temperature. The types of superconductors. On the basis of critical temperature, the superconductors may be classified into two types: low Tc superconductors, example cadmium, zinc, mercury, etc. And second one is high Tc superconductor, example is Yba2CO3O7, and next one is Bi2Sr2Ca2 CO3O10, etc. Then properties of superconductors. Generally they are ceramic oxides and powdery in nature. They are not malleable and ductile. They are diamagnetic in nature. They show variable oxidation states. Then preparation of Tc superconductors. They can be prepared by methods like sintering methods, sputtering, or chemical vapor deposition method. Third one is chemical deposition, and fourth one is electro deposition. Then today we'll discuss the sputtering or chemical vapor deposition method. We will discuss the preparation of OHA2CO3, the type of superconductor. In this method, the volatile complex of yttrium, barium, and copper are held at temperature T1, T2, T3. The reactants are the transferred into the reaction chamber by a receiver, carrier gas, mixture, oxygen and water vapor, and organ traps. The desired film of Y2CO3O7 is deposited on the waste-shaped block at high temperature is shown in the next figure. The flow sheet of preparation of Y2CO3O7 by sputtering method. This diagram, three reactants are used. All these three reactants are kept in oven. This entire rectangular portion is known as heating oven. Heating oven. The first one is copper reactant. Second one is yttrium, and third one is beryllium. Third one is barium. Uh, Here top of the reactant carrier gas. We specially designed assembly. This is the diagram of chemical vapor deposition method. chemical vapor deposition method is known as CVD method. The superconductor Y Ba2CO3O7. This ceramic superconductor can be prepared. The carrier gas is mixture with argon gas, oxygen, and water vapor. Then the three reactants, copper, yttrium, beryllium, they maintain the T1, T2, T3, and vapor pressure. The copper reactant the separate deposit in the vapor pressure, and yttrium delivered to the separate vapor pressure deposit pressure, and beryllium delivered to the separate vapor pressure. These three reactants, copper, yttrium, and beryllium, are metals, but in the form of their oxides. Because all these three elements to the deposit in the separate assembly is shown in V-shaped. This assembly kept in reaction vessel. Over this V-shaped reaction vessel, again infrared lamp adjusts to the infrared lamp and is transferring to heat. The ceramic superconductor material deposit and exhaust to the gases. Here the thin film is deposited by Y Ba2CO3O7 minus X. We can be prepared. So next, structure of Y Ba2CO3O7. It is as perovskite-like structure. The copper ions occupy corners of the cube. Yttrium and beryllium ions occupy center of the cube. Oxidation states of yttrium, beryllium, and oxygen are +3, +2, and -2 respectively. The copper is variable oxidation states. The average oxidation states of copper is +2.33. The application of superconductors, the particle accelerators, generators, transportation, power transmission, electric motors, military, computing, medical, and B field detection. Again, explain application of superconductors. They can be used in diagnostic tools such as magnetic resonance imaging. They can be used in variety of electronic devices, computers, satellites. They are used in satellite launching programs, and especially high temperature. They can be used to the produce electromagnet. Thank you for all listening to my seminar.
Okay, very nice. The second seminar that is delivered by uh, Ankush Patil. Your bandwidth was very low, hence your video was not recorded, only audio I have recorded. I will send you in due course of time. Miss Akshata Jadhav, is she there?
Yes, sir.
व्हिडिओ ऑन करायचा.
केलाय सर.
दिसत नाही इथे. हां, येस येस, जस्ट मिनिट. मी जरा स्क्रीन शेअर करतो. एक मिनिट. एक सेकंद. तुझं स्क्रीन शेअर होत नाही, तर जरासं ट्राय करतो मी. तुझं स्क्रीन शेअर होत नाही. तुझ्या समोर हे आहे ना, तुझं प्रेझेंटेशन आहे ना तुझं? हा, ते कर. हा हा, तू त्याप्रमाणे आता जसं केलं होतं त्या पद्धतीने कर. जरा घरात कोण बोलत असतील जरासं सांग प्लीज. डिस्टर्बन्स. You can start.
सर ऐकू येते?
हा, येते. ओके, you can start.
Good morning all of you. I am Akshita Rajendra Jadhav from TYBSA. Today I will conduct my seminar topic is ceramic superconductor. Introduction. The electrical resistivity of a metallic conductor decreases gradually as temperature is lowered due to decrease of vibrational resistance of atoms. In ordinary conductors such as copper or silver, this decrease is limited by impurities and other defects, even near absolute zero. A real sample of normal conductor shows some resistance in a superconductor. The resistance drops abruptly to zero when the material is cooled below its critical temperature. An electrical current, a loop of superconducting wire, can persist independently with no power source. What are superconductors? Superconductors are the material having almost zero resistivity and behave as a diamagnetic below the superconducting transition temperature. Superconductivity is the flow of electric current without resistance in certain metals, alloys, and ceramics as temperature near absolute zero, and in some cases at temperature hundreds of degrees above absolute zero is equal to minus 70 degree Kelvin. The example of ceramic superconductor is shown as diagram. The three cubes stacked one above other. This tetragonal. Then definition of ceramic superconductor. The ceramic materials used to make superconductors are a class of materials called perovskites. The superconductor has a critical transition temperature around 90 Kelvin, well above liquid nitrogen's 77 Kelvin temperature. Superconductors are readily available through number of science supply stores. This the diagram temperature resistance shown in graph. The blue line shows non-superconductor and the red line shows superconductor. Then the application of ceramic superconductor, RF and microwave filters. Example for mobile phone base stations as well as military, ultra sensitive selective receivers, high sensitivity particle detectors including the transition age sensor, the superconducting bolometer, the superconducting tunnel junction detector, the kinetic induction detector, and the conducting nanowire single photon detector. Railgun and coil gun magnets, electric motors and generators. Very strong magnetic fields can be generated with coils made of high TC superconducting materials. Ore separation can be done efficiently using superconducting magnets. Thank you.
Did you completed your seminar?
Yes, sir.
ओके. आज माझी अशी अपेक्षा होती की तुझं पीपीटी जे आहे ते एकदम चांगलं झालेलं आहे. फक्त आज काही कारणामुळे ते स्क्रीन शेअरिंग होऊ शकलेलं नाही. त्यामुळं इट इज ओके, पण थोडंसं अजून एलॅबोरेटली एक्सप्लेन करायला पाहिजे. इट इज अ फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट, यू डन व्हेरी वेल. दोघांचाही सेमिनार अजूनही थोडासा एलॅबोरेटली व्हायला होता. या सेमिनारचं पर्पज असं आहे की तुम्ही स्टडी करत असताना, आता तुम्ही दोघांनी आज जो सेमिनार दिला, स्टडी करत असताना तुम्हाला डिफिकल्टी आल्या असतील की हे शिकवताना मला थोडंसं समजलं नव्हतं, पण आता ज्यावेळेला तुम्ही सेल्फ स्टडी करून हे ज्यावेळेला सेमिनार तुम्ही प्रेझेंट करता त्याला डेफिनेट काय होतं की आपल्याला त्याच्या आयडियाज क्लिअर होत जातात. तर या पद्धतीनं आपण सेमिनार घ्यायचं पर्पज असं आहे की मी शिकवलेला पार्ट हा परत विद्यार्थ्यांच्या कानावर जायला पाहिजे, कारण तुमची एक्झाम जी आहे ती मार्चमध्ये आहे. अजूनही त्याला 2 महिने आहेत. आणि मी नेहमी असं एक धाडसानं स्टेटमेंट करतो की मी जे केमिस्ट्री शिकवतो ते इट इज व्हेरी इझी टू अंडरस्टँड बट इट इज व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट टू रिप्रोड्यूस. म्हणून मी तुम्ही प्रत्येक वेळेला हे सेमिनार जे आत्ता देणारे पुढचे आहेत तर तुम्ही एक अशी पद्धत ठेवायची की आपल्या मित्रांच्या समोर आपले जे वर्गातले मित्र असतील किंवा ज्यांना केमिस्ट्री काही समजत नसेल त्यांच्यासमोर देखील तुम्ही हे सेमिनार प्रेझेंट करा. म्हणजे काय होईल की ते तुम्हाला तुमच्या बोलण्यातले जे काही फॉल्ट असतील ते तुम्हाला सांगतील की इथं हे असं व्हायला पाहिजे होतं. पण दोघांचे सेमिनार चांगले झाले. माझ्या दृष्टीनं प्रेझेंटेशन इज इम्पॉर्टंट. आपण इथं कोणतीही कॉम्पिटिशन नाही. अक्षता जाधवनं किती छान केलं आणि हा पाटील जो आहे अंकुश पाटील त्याचं किती छान झालं. हे आपली कॉम्पिटिशन नाही आहे. फक्त मला तुम्हाला स्टेजवर आणायचं आहे की जे तुमच्या लाईफ टाईममध्ये हे नेहमी उपयोगी पडणार आहे. त्यामुळं तुम्ही अशी पद्धत ठेवायची आहे. इथून पुढे आपण आपले सेमिनार होणारच. आता ज्यांचे सेमिनार झाले त्यांच्यावर देखील आणखीन एकदा वेळ येणारच आहे अशी सेमिनार द्यायची. त्यामुळं आपण धाडस करणं हे सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचं आहे. आपलं काय इंग्लिशचं इज वॉज झालं आणि हीच शी झालं काही बिघडत नाही, काही नाही. आपण ग्रॅमॅटिकल इंग्लिश हे बोलायचं नाही. माझ्या दृष्टीनं तुम्हाला कंटेंट जो शिकवलेला आहे तो किती तुम्हाला समजलेला आहे हे मला बघायचं असतं. त्यामुळे हा सेमिनारचा पर्पज आहे की तुम्हाला थोडंसं डेअरिंग यायला पाहिजे. एखादा सब्जेक्ट कसा एक्सप्लोअर करता येईल ते बघायला पाहिजे. या पद्धतीनं आपण हा सेमिनार अरेंज करतोय. आता नेक्स्ट ट्यूजडेला जे सेमिनार देणारे आहेत ते आहेत रोहित माने आणि अल्नाश बागवान. तर रोहित माने आणि अल्नाश बागवान. रोहित माने यांनी अल्काइल अँड अराइल कंपाऊंड्स ऑफ ॲल्युमिनियम लक्षात ठेवायचं आहे. रोहित माने अल्काइल अँड अराइल कंपाऊंड्स ऑफ ॲल्युमिनियम आणि अल्नाश बागवान यांनी नॉमेनक्लेचर आणि अल्काइल अँड अराइल कंपाऊंड्स ऑफ बेरिलियम हे करायचं आहे. मी ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन केलेलं आहे की वाय दीज कंपाऊंड्स आर इलेक्ट्रॉन डेफिशियंट कंपाऊंड्स. ते तुम्ही पर्टिक्युलरली बघून तुम्ही एक्सप्लेन करायचं आहे. म्हणजे तुमचं एक्सप्लेनेशन असं झालं पाहिजे की मी जे शिकवलेलं आहे त्याच्यापेक्षा विद्यार्थ्यांनी अशी डिमांड केली पाहिजे की या विद्यार्थ्यांनी पुढचा पाठ शिकवला पाहिजे. इतकं तुम्ही एलॅबोरेटली एक्सप्लेन केलं पाहिजे. त्यामुळे मी ज्या पद्धतीने एलॅबोरेटली एक्सप्लेन केलेलं होतं मागच्या आठवड्यामध्ये त्या पद्धतीने तुम्ही ते एलॅबोरेटली एक्सप्लेन करायचं आहे. तुम्हाला काही डिफिकल्टी आली या गोष्टी एक्सप्लेन करत असताना तर तुमचा सेमिनार पूर्वी जर तुम्ही मला विचारला तर तुमच्या डिफिकल्टीचं मी निरसन करू शकेन. तर या पद्धतीनं नेक्स्ट वीकमध्ये रोहित माने आणि अल्नाश बागवान या दोघांनी द्यायचं आहे. रोहित माने ॲल्युमिनियम अल्काइल अँड अराइल कंपाऊंड्स ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर अँड बॉन्डिंग इन ॲल्युमिनियम. अल्काइल अँड अराइल कंपाऊंड्स ऑफ ॲल्युमिनियम. वाय इट इज 3 center 2 electron बनाना बॉन्ड फॉर्मेशन. आणि अल्नाश बागवान नॉमेनक्लेचर तुम्ही घ्यायचं आहे सुरुवातीला आणि त्याच्यानंतर काय करायचं आहे की अल्काइल अँड अराइल कंपाऊंड्स ऑफ बेरिलियम. इट इज अगेन इलेक्ट्रॉन डिफिशियंट कंपाऊंड 3 center 2 electron pair bond दॅट यू हॅव टू एक्सप्लेन. तुम्ही पहिल्यांदा मला पीपीटी पाठवायचं आहे. पीपीटी पाठवल्यानंतर मला तुम्ही व्हॉट्सअपवर मेसेज करायचा आहे. मला कोण पीपीटी पाठवले की नाही हे मला लक्षात येत नाही. तुम्ही फक्त पीपीटी पाठवता आणि सर पीपीटी पाठवले मी कोणाचं पण समजणार. कारण तुम्ही ज्यावेळेला मला ईमेलला पीपीटी पाठवता त्यावेळेला तुम्ही मला मेसेज केला पाहिजे की मी तो पीपीटी डाउनलोड करून परत तुमच्या सेमिनारच्या दिवशी तुम्हाला प्रेझेंट करायचा असतो. त्यामुळं या पद्धतीने तुम्ही या गोष्टी लक्षात ठेवायच्या आहेत. तुम्ही पीपीटी जितकं एलॅबोरेटली व्यवस्थित कराल तर पीपीटी बघून तुम्हाला ते व्यवस्थित सांगता येतं. तर आपण आज इथं थांबवा. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.